Hello listeners, this is the continuing video of Mahabharat audio series. This video will be regarding chapter number 79. It's about Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu, son of Arjun. Early next morning, Duryodhan went to Dronacharya in a state of bitterness and anger, and after the customary salutation, addressed him thus in the presence of a large number of generals. Esteemed Brahman, Yudhishthira was quite within your reach yesterday, and if you had really wished to take him, no one could have prevented you. Yet you did not take him, and to me the events of yesterday are inexplicable. I cannot understand what makes it hard for you to carry out your promise to me. Verily great men are ununderstandable. Dronacharya was exceedingly hurt by this insulting insinuation. Duryodhan, he said, I am putting forth on your behalf all the strength and skill I possess. You entertain thoughts unworthy of a king. As long as Arjun is present, supporting Yudhishthira, it is not possible for us to seize him. I have told you that already. It is only if we manage somehow to get Arjun out of the battlefield that we can hope to carry out this plan as you desire, and I am devising ways to attain this objective. Thus did Drona nobly conquer his just anger and seek to comfort Duryodhan in his distress. On the 13th day, the Samsaptakas again challenged Arjun to battle, and he accordingly went to attack them, where they are arrayed to the south of the main battlefront. The battle that was fought between the Samsaptakas and Arjun was the fiercest that ever had been seen or heard of till that day. When Dhananjay left the main front for meeting the Samsaptakas, Drona rearranged his army in lotus formation and attacked Yudhishthira fiercely. Bhim, Satyaki, Chekitana, Drishtadyum, Kunti Bhoj, Drupad, Ghatotkach, Yudhimanyu, Shikhandin, Uttamojas, Virat, the Kekayas, Srinjayas, and many others opposed him. But their resistance seemed paralyzed by the violence of Drona's offensive. Abhimanyu, son of Arjun and Subhadra, was still adolescent, but had already won recognition as a mighty man at arms, even as the equal of his father and uncle in battle. Yudhishthira called Abhimanyu and said to him, Dear son, Dronacharya is harrying our army greatly. Arjun is absent, and if we should be defeated in his absence, he will be grieved beyond measure. No one among us has been able to break Drona's array. You know you can do it, and no one else. I ask you to take up this task. I can do it, replied Abhimanyu. I have been instructed by my father how to penetrate this formation and can certainly do so. But if, after forcing my way, it should unfortunately become necessary for me to come out, I shall be at a loss what to do, being as yet uninstructed in the art of extrication. Valiant boy, break this impregnable formation and open a passage for us. We shall all break in your wake. We shall be with you to face any danger, and no question can arise of your having to come out. Bhimsena supported Yudhishthira's proposal. I shall be immediately behind you and enter when you succeed in breaking the enemy's formation. So also will Drishtadyum, Satyaki, the Panchals, the Kekayas, and the forces of Matsya. Only break the formation as you alone can do. We shall do the rest and smash the Kaurav army. Abhimanyu thought of his father and Krishna, and feeling encouraged by what had been said by Bhimsena and Yudhishthira, and impelled by his own gallant nature, undertook the adventure. I shall please my great father and uncle, he said with enthusiasm. Let my valor be staked on this. May your prowess grow, said Yudhishthira, and blessed the youth. Sumitra, see Drona's flag flying there. Drive straight and fast to that point, said Abhimanyu to his charioteer. Faster, faster, urged Abhimanyu, as they sped along. May the gods protect you, said the charioteer. Yudhishthira has placed a very great burden on your young shoulders. Think well before you pierce Drona's array and enter. The Acharya is unrivaled in skill and experience. while you, though his equal in valor, have not his long years to back it. Abhimanyu smiled and replied, Friend, I am Krishna's nephew and son of Arjun. Am I not? Which other has that advantage? Fear dare not approach me. These enemies here have not a 16th part of my strength. Drive fast towards Drona's division. Do not hesitate. The charioteer obeyed. As the golden chariot to which were yoked beautiful young horses approached, the soldiers in the Kaurav army shouted, Abhimanyu is coming! He has come! The Pandavas followed Abhimanyu close behind him. The Kaurav's warriors were perturbed as they saw Abhimanyu's chariot approach them with great speed. Here is one greater in valor than Arjun, they thought, and began to lose heart. Like a young lion on a herd of elephants, Abhimanyu rushed on. There was a ripple in the Kaurav ranks which bent under his headlong onslaught. The bend soon became a break, and under Drona's very eyes, the formation was breached and Abhimanyu entered. But the breach closed under the inspiration of Jayadratha, king of the Sindhus. Before the other Pandav warriors could force their way in according to plan, and Abhimanyu was alone. Kaurav warriors opposed him, but they fell like moths in the fire, one after another. Abhimanyu's shafts searched the weak points in the armor of his enemies, and the bodies of the soldiers lay strewn on the field like kusha grass on the sacrificial platform. Bows, arrows, swords, shields, javelins, pieces of harness, chariot canopies, axes, maces, spears, whips, kongs, along with severed heads and limbs of slain warriors covered the field. Seeing the destruction wrought by Abhimanyu, Duryodhana was wroth and rushed in person to oppose the youthful warrior. Drona, having learned that the king himself was engaged in battle with Abhimanyu, became anxious and sent veterans to protect Duryodhana. With great difficulty, they managed to rescue the king from the boy hero, who, greatly disappointed at the escape of Duryodhana, vented his anger on the warriors that had come to rescue him and put them to headlong fight. Then, throwing away all sense of shame and chivalry, a large number of veteran warriors made a combined and simultaneous attack on the hero, who found himself alone, surrounded by enemies on all sides. But even as on all sides a rock receives the rising tide of a sea, Arjun's son withstood this united onslaught. Drona, Ashvathama, Kripa, Karna, Shakuni, Salya, and many other great warriors in their chariots, equipped with all arms, surged in attack on the young hero, only to be dashed back, baffled and broken. Asmak rode his chariot at great speed against Abhimanyu's, but smiling. Abhimanyu sent his shafts and disposed of him in no time. Karna's armor was pierced. Salya was badly wounded and sat, unable to move in his chariot. Salya's brother came up in great wrath to avenge his brother's disgrace, but he fell and his chariot was broken to pieces. Thus did Abhimanyu alone and unsupported oppose a host of veteran warriors and show the skill in the use of arms which he had learned from his illustrious father and from Vasudev, his uncle. Seeing this, the poet says, Dronacharya's eyes were filled with tears of affectionate admiration. Was there ever a fighter to equal this boy Abhimanyu? Exclaimed Drona to Kripa in a hearing of Duryodhana, who could not contain his anger. The Acharya's partiality for Arjun prevents him from killing Abhimanyu, Duryodhana said, and he sings his praises instead of fighting him. Indeed, if Acharya were minded to dispose of Abhimanyu, would it take him long to do it? Often did Duryodhana suspect and complain in his manner against Bhishma and Drona. Having undertaken a war of adharma, he was often led to speak in this manner and hurt the feelings of the Acharyas who stood loyally by him, even when they saw the wickedness of his ways. The Shashan rode in anger and exclaiming, "This obstinate lad will perish now," led his chariot forward to attack Abhimanyu. The chariots of Abhimanyu and the Shashan made wonderful movement against each other, and the battle raged long. Dushashan was struck senseless in his car, and his charioteer just managed to drive away from the field, saving Dushashan's life. Karn attacked Abhimanyu with his shafts and harassed him greatly. But one of Abhimanyu's arrows felled Karn's bow, and the young warrior followed up this advantage so vigorously that he put Karn and his supporters to flight. The Kaurav forces, when they saw this, were completely demoralized. The army was in confusion, and men fled in all directions, not caring for Drona's shouts of remonstrance, and Abhimanyu destroyed those that stood as fire destroys a dry jungle in summer. Chapter 79 finishes here. Keep listening Mahabharat audio series in the next videos.